Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP's boyfriend pimps out OP's dog. Am I the butthole for thinking of breaking up with my boyfriend because of what he did to my dog? Uh-oh. I got my 2-year-old German Shepherd spayed, and one of the forms I signed said that if she was found to be pregnant, they would spay her and that they would terminate the pregnancy. I signed thinking there wasn't any way that she could be pregnant. When the vet finished spaying my dog, they told me that she was pregnant, but it was pretty early on and they still did the spay. I was shocked because I don't allow her with any male dogs that aren't neutered. I couldn't think of when she could have had the opportunity. I was advised not to spay her too soon because of joint issues in German Shepherds. When my boyfriend found out, he was mad. He had been saying that spaying and neutering ruined dogs and made them not have any drive. I have no idea why he thinks that, but I did it anyways. He wouldn't talk to me for like a week. It's been a few months, and yesterday a man knocked on our door and asked for my boyfriend. I stayed in the living room, and I overheard him ask my boyfriend where his puppy is, and my boyfriend said that I spayed the dog and terminated the litter. He promised the man he'll give the money back, and I go to ask what on earth he's talking about. He tells me that my boyfriend had my dog mate with his German Shepherd and he was supposed to be getting one of the puppies. I was shocked and yelled at my boyfriend for doing that when he knew that I intended to spay her and never breed her. He was always telling me that she deserves to have her bloodline passed on, but I never thought that he would do this. He said that the guy was lying as he was returning the cash to him, as apparently he had prepaid for a puppy. I'm so mad that he won't even admit it, and I'm thinking of breaking up with him. We've been together for 3 years, and we're talking about getting engaged. My mom thinks that I should try to forgive him as I'm getting older and I can't afford to wait much longer for kids. He has an ego and thinks that he's always right, but I can't believe that he would do this. Yo, OP, your boyfriend, he pimped out your dog. What? And I don't know what's worse. I mean, that's pretty bad as it is. But then to lie in your face and tell you, I don't know what you're talking about, while he's refunding the dude cash for the undelivered puppies, he's going to look you in the eyes and lie to you. Yo, this guy doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect your pet, he doesn't respect your preferences, and he doesn't respect your intelligence if he honestly thinks you're dumb enough to fall for that. OP, you have to leave this guy. This is a huge red flag, and I can guarantee you this behavior is going to get way worse. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving this guy, let's say, 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for not ordering any food so I wouldn't have to split the bill? I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I've been part of a small friends group, about 8 people total, basically since college. For some background, 2 people in the group, Susan and Greg, are absolute leeches. Going out for lunch, expect them to order the most expensive thing on the menu, then feed you some sob story about their finances, and then dump half the bill on you. Last weekend, Dan, one of the people from the group, told me about a casual dinner. I told him that if Susan or Greg were there, then I wouldn't be able to come. He tells me that they would be there, but I should just put my opinions aside and come just once. This is kind of where I might be the butthole. I agreed with him and told him I would be there. I show up and we all get to talking. Everyone began putting in their orders. Most of the orders were about $40. There were only 6 people there, and when it got to Susan and Greg, they both order expensive dishes, around $200. When it was my turn to order, everyone looked at me, but I just picked up the menu and pointed to the $4 Miller Lite and sent the waiter away. Dan asked why I hadn't ordered anything, and all I said was that I lost my appetite. The other 2 friends got up as well to cancel their orders and just have drinks. As the main courses came out, I saw Susan and Greg picking at their food. The waiter then brings over the check. Greg then grabs the waiter and asks him to split the check 6 ways. I stand up and correct him, saying the check was to be split 3 ways. Greg looks at me confused and asks why, since we always split the bill. I remind him that 3 of us hadn't eaten any food, so we would just be paying for our own drinks. So basically, at the end of the night, Dan, who probably only ate around $50 worth of food, was stuck with a $146.98 check at the end. Yes, I remember the exact number. I swear, I saw his jaw drop when he picked up the receipt.
I dropped a $10 bill on the table, said goodbye to everyone, and walked out. The next morning, I found my phone full of texts from Greg and Susan telling me that I'm a butthole for not ordering any food, and for forcing them to pay more than they had accounted for. I honestly laughed because their steaks alone were more than what they had to pay for. I also got a lot of messages from Dan saying that I could have just not come instead of pulling that stunt and getting him stuck with an outrageous bill. OP, in what universe are you the butthole? This story doesn't even warrant posting it to Reddit. You are 0 easy out of 5 buttholes. You did nothing wrong. Honestly, I don't know why you're friends with these people. Will I be the butthole if I don't give my late boyfriend's house to his parents? I'm a 33-year-old guy, and I was together with my 30-year-old boyfriend for 15 years. I was his senior in high school, and we stayed together until a few months ago when he passed away due to bone cancer. I live in a traditional country where same-sex marriage is not legal, but it's not a big issue socially. His parents kicked him out when he came out as gay at the age of 17, and my family took him in, helped him to finish high school, and were supportive as much as they could be. I work in HR and he worked in IT. Ever since he started to work, he's made good money. He saved enough to purchase a house 10 years ago. He was paying the mortgage all by himself. 4 years ago, he got the cancer diagnosis. He reduced his working hours to take care of his health, and I stepped in to pay the mortgage. It was a hard battle, but cancer took him back in March. After he passed away, his family appeared in the picture, saying how they regretted not being in his son's life and stuff. Time went by, and a month ago, they reached out to me asking me when they can expect I could give them the keys to the house. Same-sex marriage isn't legal, so they could claim the house as their family. I told them the house was in my name, that I bought it from them a year into the cancer, so legally it was mine, and I'd been paying the mortgage way before that. They got upset and said that I was being unreasonable, that legally it should be theirs, that my boyfriend would have wanted to give them the house. My boyfriend talked a lot about how he would give everything to them if that would fix the relationship between them, which is in fact true. Actually, he bought that house as a way to get them to live with him so they would no longer have to rent. He also tried to make amends with them all this time, unsuccessfully. I told them that I would give them the house for the price that I bought it from my boyfriend, and they would have to pay me back those 4 years of mortgage, plus take the debt over in their name. They said they didn't have that money and that it was so selfish of me to tell them that, knowing what my boyfriend would have wanted. They proposed to just change the debt into their name and give me no money in return, but I declined. They got mad, and the discussion got heated to the point that they told me they would bring me to court accusing me of scamming my boyfriend to have the house. I don't think they can do that. They've been calling and texting me nonstop for the past month, telling me that I would be a butthole to my boyfriend if I didn't give them the house. I know they can't pay me back all the money I put in the house, but I'm conflicted right now. Some friends told me that I should give them the house and move on with my life, but that just doesn't feel right to me. I'm leaning more into not giving them the house, but I know my boyfriend would jump the bid and give it to them. Right now, their words feel empty, as if they just want to take advantage of the situation. I don't need the house, to be honest, but I don't want to give it to them either. We never talked with my boyfriend about what I should do with the house after his death, so will I be the butthole if I don't give them the house? OP, you said that your boyfriend got a cancer diagnosis 4 years ago, so he's had plenty of time to update his will, or sell the house to them, or to make it clear to everyone that they were supposed to have the house, but he never did that, which means clearly he wants you to have the house. So honestly, their argument here is just stupid. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. You should keep the house and not even feel remotely guilty about it. I'm giving his scummy family 3.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for telling my family no more monthly family dinners? Ever since my dad was a kid, our family has done monthly family dinners, nicer ones than your average family dinner. It's something our family did when my siblings and I were kids too. We'd have grandparents over and we'd all have a nice dinner together. When my siblings and I grew up, we still did this, only instead of what happened before, where branches broke off over time and did their own, they decided that we should include partners and spouses and our kids as the whole in one. By the time that I was 19, the family decided they would take turns hosting each month to lessen the burden. My wife was excited to be a part of them, at first. We started doing this during our relationship.
I did the cooking at first, then she took over after a while because she wanted to. My family had seemingly gotten along with my wife before this point, but they were overly harsh of her cooking, with the exception of my 2 younger siblings. She tried to make my family happy, but no dice. I told my family that they could be kinder. They said that she should cook better or cook different things. My wife didn't make anything that they didn't eat, but still, nothing she cooked was right. She grew frustrated, and I grew suspicious. So we hosted a couple of months ago, and I told my wife that we were going to pretend that I did the cooking, just to see. She told me she felt like they just weren't fond of her food. I pointed out that when other people ate her food, nobody had the same number of complaints as my family, and they even criticized the steak and potatoes that everyone seemed crazy for. My wife went along with the plan, and when my family thought that I cooked everything, they loved it. They said it was so good that my wife decided to let a real talent take over. That it was so nice to have something a little different, curry, and all this very lovely stuff. My younger brother and sister were not fooled. Still, they enjoyed watching the rest of the family dig a big hole. But when the rest of my family heard that it was my wife's food and not mine, they tried so hard to backtrack on all the nice stuff. The rest of the dinner preceded in tense silence, and my wife's eyes were opened. I told her I was done with these dinners and that she was my priority. She felt a little bad. I told her that we could have dinners with my younger brother and sister sometimes. It would be less stress that way anyways. When we didn't show up to last month's dinner or this one, my parents and siblings started asking questions. The last time we had dinner together, I told them that we weren't going again, but missing 2 in a row made it sink in. They told me that we need to be there. I said never again. My wife doesn't deserve their disrespect. I told them they ruined what they wanted by being buttholes to her. They said that I was overreacting, making very relationship-harming choices, and treating them badly for simply having issues with my wife's food. They also said to think of future kids and how they'll miss out. Some of it got to my wife a little, which I've tried to reassure her about. Am I the butthole? OP, that was a very clever trap that your family just bumbled into. They suck. I mean, there's no real way to put it. Your family sucks. They don't like your wife for some reason, who knows? And they're just bad people, so 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving the rest of your family, with the exception of your younger brother and sister, 1.5 out of 5 buttholes.
Am I the butthole after my husband went on a last date with his ex a week before we got married just to make sure? My ex was always the one who got away, according to everyone around my husband. He ended things because he didn't see a future with her, but everyone around him was shocked because she's so good and beautiful. Then we met, and I soon understood that everyone from his side of the family preferred his ex. I even heard some people call me the Camilla, although I'm neither much older nor less attractive, in my opinion. He's never given me any reason to doubt him, however. He gave me the impression that he knew exactly what he wanted. That he was secure enough in his heart that he told me that he loved me a few months into our relationship. And I never felt like he was lying or that I wasn't enough. He's fully aware of what people think about him leaving his ex, and he gave the impression that he thought they were silly and childish. He told his mom that I'm the person he chose, and if she wanted to be a part of our lives, she needed to clean up her act. We got married 3 years ago, and only now I found out that he went on a date with his ex a few days before our wedding. He wanted to know for sure that she wasn't like everyone around him thought, the one that got away. He wanted to make 100% sure. His mom told me this gleefully when she visited our new baby and she looked at my daughter and said that she wondered what would have happened if he changed his mind after that date and she was visiting their baby now. My husband and the one who got away. Then she gave a gleeful sigh. You know what I mean. I haven't spoken to my husband for a week, and I hate silent treatment, but I just can't talk to him. It's not something I'm doing to punish him or manipulate him or get the upper hand and control him. I just can't look at him or talk to him. Am I the butthole for this silent treatment? Alright, what the husband did here was pretty bad, but what's even worse is the mother-in-law. She really sat on this for 3 years, I think, until you had a new baby and then dropped this bomb on you while you're holding your newborn? That is repulsive. Definitely ditch the mother-in-law, and maybe ditch the husband. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes.
Am I the butthole for leaving my partner and refusing to be involved in any way, shape, or form after they stopped taking the pill and pierced our condoms to have a child? My partner has been on the pill throughout our relationship, and we've been in a bit of a battle these past few weeks over having children. I categorically said that I don't want them, and I started using condoms for double protection. This morning, she told me that she's pregnant, and I asked how this could happen when we'd been so careful. She admitted to coming off the pill and piercing through the condoms that we had been using. I said that I don't want this, and that I'm not up for marrying into a relationship based on lies. She says she's keeping the baby and has already told her friends because, according to her, she did the test 8 weeks ago and was keeping it quiet in the hopes that I'd change my mind. I have no idea what to do here. Help! I'm in England and I'm 29. Then OP posted an update which basically just explains that he talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer says that he's basically in the clear because he's not married, so he won't be added to the birth certificate. And also, interestingly, what she did here is actually illegal in the UK. It's called reproductive coercion.
That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.